ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Panel, your show about comics and everything pertaining to. Tonight, the epic crossover. You're getting 100% more nerd. We're crossing over with the Nerd Herders later on tonight. And also, we've got the entire, not yet, but we will have the entire panel team on with us. So let me introduce you to my good friends. I got the Space Chief with me.
Hey, everybody.
I got Jules.
Hi, everyone.
We got Uni.
Hello.
Me llamo Pedro.
Olá, tudo bem?
Megan Ashley is back with us here tonight.
Welcome.
And making his third appearance on Panel to Panel. He can't stay away.
Pedro's third, too.
Burns from Super Knocked Up.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
We're gonna. I'm telling
Hey, Jeff.
you, you're
back.
almost to that Saturday Night Live. Like when you host 5 times on Saturday Night Live, you get like a special plaque or something. You're
He's like the Steve Martin of our show.
You're the Steve Martin of the show.
Yeah,
You're almost there. You're almost there.
Has somebody who's hosted SNL 5 times is somebody we're going to talk about in a minute, I think.
Oh, I think so because
Yep.
the news broke out that Ben Affleck is Batman.
Hell yeah.
Now, from what I'm seeing, the panel crew and their guests are we're on this. We're on 2 sides of the fence here. So I'm going to open the floor to Ben Affleck talk. Talk amongst yourselves. Tell us. You know what, Jules? Jules was adamant on Twitter last night. She was blowing up Twitter with her love of Ben Affleck.
She was. We were tweeting back and forth.
Camping. I was camping too, so isn't this like dedicated? Because I was camping and tweeting.
Exactly.
That's where you were tweeting me from? You were tweeting me from your tent last night?
Tweeting.
From the woods.
My jungle love. Oh.
Sorry, you guys are...
What?
So yeah, see, I'm here, I'll start off with Jules because before everybody starts hating on this, I think this is the best news since Spin challenged Captain Amazing to a duel. Here's the thing. So Jules, I guess you'll back me up, but I've always been a big fan of Ben Affleck, and I actually think he's a tremendous choice. I thought it was I didn't think he was going to do it because I thought he only wanted to direct his own stuff now, but I guess you can't turn down Batman, right? So I think actually he's an awesome choice to play both Bruce Wayne and the Batman personas. I'm much more excited about this movie now. If they got Zack Snyder out of there, I'd be even more excited, but that's not going to happen. So yeah, I'm actually really excited about this news. Jules, so I kind of stole your thing there, but.
No, you're good. I actually lost you guys for a minute, so I couldn't focus. But yeah, so I know nobody liked the Daredevil movie except for me. I'm like the only Daredevil movie fan. I think Jeff, you said that you liked it too. I can't remember. Okay, yay!
I actually like Daredevil.
It wasn't bad.
And so my husband texted me that Ben Affleck was Batman, and I was like, nah, and he's like, yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I love him. So then I just blew up Twitter for an hour because I was really excited. So I don't know. I think he's gonna do. I know there's a lot of people that are really, really, really upset about this, and so this is why I'm hoping and praying that he just blows it out of the water so that everybody will just be like, oh, he was so good. I don't know.
In a surprise to the crew, I'm jumping on the side with Jeff and Jules. I think Ben Affleck could possibly be the best Batman ever.
And
wow. I think that the reason is because I think maybe he couldn't have pulled it off in his younger days as Daredevil. I don't know. I liked the Daredevil movie all right. I didn't hate it. And I think now he's an older, more seasoned actor. He's more seasoned with the way writing and directing and all that goes on. And he's getting kind of that old, craggy kind of Bruce Wayne look about him. And I think it could be either the best decision ever, or it could just horribly fail. So I'm a wait and see guy. I'm a wait and see, give it a chance.
Megan?
What are you people smoking? Can I please have no. Look,
no one can tell.
It's freaking Ben Affleck. That alone tells you just no. I would really like to be in the room when they come up with that choice of freaking gold brick nugget piece of
Gold brick, that's a term I haven't heard in a while.
I'm mixed on it still, because when they cast Heath Ledger in Dark Knight, I kind of screamed, because I was like, no way, he's never going to pull off
Exactly my point.
Wrong.
Could be the greatest thing ever.
So wrong.
Great.
But I hated him in Daredevil, and that's because he was not douchey enough to be Daredevil. Maybe now he could do it, but if they really seriously want to get my attention, I'll still see it, but if they really want me to love that movie, all they gotta do is get Matt Damon be Robin, and Kevin Smith be Rex, and I'm good.
Hashtag good Robin hunting. Good Robin hunting. Applesauce.
But no, I'm kind of with Meghan on it. I just can't see it.
No. You leave Joseph Gordon-Levitt alone.
Well, that's the question.
You leave regular Joe alone.
Well, that's the question. Is Batman Superman going to stay in canon with the Christopher Nolan Batman films?
No, I don't think not at all. They said they're totally starting up. It's a totally different look. Totally starting over.
It kind of sounds like
reboot.
Go ahead, Pedro.
Just for my opinion about the Ben Affleck incident. Well, I guess they are my view of this is like they are using him as Batman to get him to do the Justice League movie. That's my view of this thing. They try because they try to
Could be.
bring Ben to do the Justice League movie, and then he turns out the movie. There's some rumors about this, so I don't know. He don't have that kind of confidence look of Batman and this kind of badass that Batman has. So I don't know. He's kind of like I don't know how to say, but he can be good, but I don't know. I don't like him as like Batman. He don't have this kind of I'm Batman. He's more like the guy.
You don't have the swagger.
He's around and doing some stuff, and I don't know.
Did you see my tweets today, Pedro? The Ben Affleck drunk tweets.
I'll clarify this for you right now. This used to be a dating question for me. Okay, and it was a two-parter. Was it, first off, Batman versus Superman, and why? And the thing is, what it really comes down to is that Batman has this inner turmoil, and he's always just sort of like just a couple steps away from being one of the bad guys. And I just don't think Ben Affleck has that quality inside of him to walk that line. And that's it.
Yeah,
So
This could be true.
have you guys seen the films that Ben Affleck has directed, like The Town and Argo and Gone Baby Gone?
Well, see, that's another thing I'm saying. He's gotten so much more experience in filmmaking, and he's been like not Academy Awards and everything. It's like he's got to know something.
If you've seen those films, and as a director, I'm in awe of Ben Affleck as a director. He is amazing. But here's the deal. He is the star of every one of his films. So if you like those films, it's kind of hard to say, how do you not like him performing in them, because he's the lead. And in The Town, I actually think it's kind of very similar to what you're saying, Meghan, about Batman, what that Batman persona has to be. In The Town, he's a criminal who's walking those two lines between trying to date this girl and being a thief, and it's a really, really good performance, I felt. It's his best film, too, I think.
Well, I guess I'll throw
I can see him doing it.
I guess I'll throw my hat into the ring.
Still dogma.
I'll throw my hat into the ring here and tell you what I think. I don't care. I really don't. And let me tell you why. First of all, there's the part of me that is hoping there's a line where Batman looks at Superman, they're about to face the villain, and Batman goes, I'm about to screw this villain up in someplace very uncomfortable, and Superman goes, what, like the back of a Volkswagen? That I would just love to see. 2, Kevin Smith can now say he's seen Batman naked. And 3, I am going to pass judgment when the movie comes out. Because, like Uni said, Heath Ledger was cast, and everybody said Heath Ledger cannot play Joker. Go back to Julia Stiles and 10 Things I Hate About You, stay out of my Batman film, and he nailed it. Although he did give us now that every Joker has to do this number.
Yeah.
Where they gotta, like, lick their lips and crap. But, here's my thing, though. He's definitely got a look of Bruce Wayne when he's not Argo beard, of course. When he doesn't have the Argo beard, he does kind of have a Bruce Wayne look. I mean, think about this.
Chin.
Nobody said Michael Keaton could play Batman. Nobody said Michael Keaton could play Batman, and Michael Keaton, in my opinion, was the best movie Batman we have ever had. Live action film Batman we've ever had.
Agreed.
Okay. Because I always felt Christian Bale forced his Batman voice a little too much. He needed a Ricola. He needed a Ricola because I don't want my Batman sitting there and he's fighting the villain. And he's like, no, do not understand. I'm sitting there going,
they make like voice harmonizers. That'd be a lot easier on your throat.
But I'm gonna wait and pass judgment now that I think hopefully he does, he kind of learns like most actors do. Don't use your Boston accent. Don't use your Boston accent. But really, you got to think about.
Gotham is non-regional diction, I think.
Well, here's the thing you got to think about. Can Batman play both Bruce Wayne and Batman? Christian Bale did a good Bruce Wayne, but I think his Batman was lacking. Clooney
Only when he spoke.
Huh? Only when he spoke.
Well, you could do both.
Yeah.
Well,
who did? What? Who could do both?
Problem is
Tell me you didn't just say Clooney.
No.
What?
No.
Clooney?
No.
Oh.
No. Clooney was a good Bruce Wayne, a horrible Batman.
That credit card.
Clooney didn't even get a chance to do movies.
Calm blue ocean. Calm blue ocean. Calm blue ocean.
I was going to say, Clooney didn't really get a chance because the movies he was in.
I was not really going off on you, Megan.
Well, my pick for Batman is Jim Caviezel, and he is in Person of Interest right now, so he can never play Batman, but he would be perfect for the role.
Bruce Campbell.
Old.
You know what? I agree.
I mean,
I saw that picture you posted, Jules, and I thought.
Yeah, he looked just like.
I thought he looked like a Batman candidate.
Bruce Campbell's gotten too old. In his younger days, yes.
He's got the chin. He's got that Batman chin. Bruce Campbell.
I am totally for the groovy Bruce. Yep.
Groovy. Oh.
He's gotten a little old.
Yeah.
Well, if they do an older version of Batman.
Ooh, The Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns, yep.
Dark Knight Returns, Bruce Campbell.
That's actually that's the rumor behind this new Batman vs. Superman movie, is it's going to be an older Batman in the storyline. And I'm curious how they're going to do that, because, I mean...
With a young...
Yeah, I'm kind of confused how they're going to do that, especially if the Justice League movie right around the corner, too.
Right.
They do a Batman Beyond film. Excellent.
I'm still skeptical we're ever going to see a Justice League movie, for one thing.
Well, what I
thought it's been like 13 years or something they've been saying it's coming out.
But this movie, I think, is the perfect lead up to that. So
It is.
Yeah.
Well, what I thought was funny was...
I just don't know who all they're going to cast for it.
Well, what I thought was funny was last night, Jules, during her defense of Ben Affleck, said DC will not let one of their movies fail. And I had to cough quite a few times on that tweet.
wait, what?
She said DC would not let a movie fail.
Sleep deprived.
Constantine. Steel.
Jules, did you have amnesia for a few minutes there?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
I did. I was like, Ben Affleck is Batman. That's all I could think of. So I forgot.
All I have to say is Shaquille O'Neal as Steel.
Oh God.
Greatest casting of all time.
Except he can't act for shit.
He can rap, though. He can rap. We saw that in Kazam.
He can't do that either.
Have to bring that up.
And he can't shoot free throws.
What else did I put up there? I think I also put up, what I put up? Oh, Swamp Thing, Jonah Hex.
Oh, Jonah Hex. Wow.
Yeah,
did you put up Jonah Hex? Yeah, I didn't read that one.
Hey, but Swamp Thing did warrant a sequel.
I don't think I've seen that one.
There was a sequel to Swamp Thing.
Swamp Thing did get a TV series. All right, guys, we're ready to rock and roll here. Wait a minute, go ahead. What about next week?
He's like, so if you can meet us for next week, we'll be here with the Nerd Herders.
Yeah. And actually, they are ready to rock and roll. So who's ready to see Foxy lose her freaking mind? Because I know I am.
I won't be able to see it.
Let's make the call.
This guy.
Here's ready.
Hey guys!
Hey, my nerd herder.
Hey!
What's up, Nerd Herders? So Nerd Herders, this is the first time we're doing this. We actually have a speaker near the phone to try to get everybody sound in. So if it comes out a little funky, we are sorry, and I'm trying to adjust my stupid webcam. But yeah, anyway, there we go. Hey, we can see everybody.
Should I introduce my team?
Yes. Well, everybody remember Spin Dash from last week. Welcome back, Spin Dash.
Well, good to be back here. With me is the Space Chief. Wave your hand.
Word up.
We have Jules.
Hi.
Hi, Jules.
There she is.
I talked to her on Twitter.
We have Uni.
Hello, everyone.
We have Pedro.
Oi, pessoal. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Pedro.
Panda will be joining us shortly. We also have my two surprises. First, Mr. Jeff Burns, the creator and director of Super Knocked Up.
Hey guys.
And Meghan Ashley is with us again.
All right. Awesome. Well, she looks like she's spazzing out. Now you can see her actually spazzing out about it.
I fully will admit I took a Xanax before this because he warned me that surprises were going to be here.
So we actually have Meghan Ashley on with us, as well as the whole panel crew. Spin Dash, you done outdid yourself from last week. Amazing.
Hey, I told you, we're bringing the thunder.
We are bringing the thunder.
Why, Megan?
Oh.
Loud?
Is it kind of loud?
I can't hear you.
What?
She can't hear?
It's sounding like robotic.
Oh, everybody's saying robot. It'll clear up, Megan. It'll clear up. So.
Trying to cough right
All
on my mic.
right.
We're ready when you
we
are.
were just doing a quick recap. Yeah, we were doing a quick recap about how, for the most part, with the exception of movies, it seems like DC is winning the debate in terms of animated DVDs, animated TV shows, regular TV series, and video games as well. So, despite our initial reactions of who we like, it seems like
Despite everybody thinking Marvel was gonna take this one, and it's too bad we all said it. It's too bad this whole Ben Affleck news didn't come out last week when we were talking the movie section or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that would have been helpful. But DC's actually winning. DC's actually winning this right now.
we'll see.
Let's see how it goes. So why don't you intro us into the next section?
Say again?
We're gonna have her intro us into the next section.
Got it.
All right,
We're ready.
Regarding who wins the debate of comics, generic comic books from Marvel, DC, story arcs, plot lines, multi-universes, etc. You guys start.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we got this storylines. Now, I think we talked about last week. New 52 is out, right? We're going past. No Marvel now. No New 52. We're talking past or what?
Everything.
All right, who wants to start?
In that case, Infinity's the name of the game, baby.
Chief, you want to kick us off?
Sure, let's do this. I'm going Marvel all the way on this. I love DC Comics. I'll say I read tons. I probably read a 50-50 amount of each group. I read a lot of indies too. But I will say Marvel is spot on almost everything. DC's had some misses. DC's had some stumbling blocks over the last since the New 52 started. But Marvel has been consistently killing it. Infinity is killing it right now. I love it. I love Superior Spider-Man. Pedro's got the Hawkeye. There's not a book by them that has been bad, I don't think. And you've already had, I don't know how many titles has DC canceled. It's been like 8. Got the Deadpool.
More than 8.
There's so many titles gone. I'm going Marvel all the way on comics.
Jeff.
I will agree with the Chief there. So I used to be a big Marvel guy, and actually I am more of a DC guy now, but looking at the whole everything like through the years past and storylines, I think Marvel totally kicks ass. Like two that come to mind that are my favorites are Age of Apocalypse and Civil War. I think Civil War is one of the greatest storylines that's ever been told in comics, to be honest with you. And so in terms of like storylines and those big event things, I think Marvel absolutely.
Megan.
Yeah?
I don't think Megan stopped.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Not
right.
really.
Oh.
How about me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Sort of.
Let me try this.
I could sing to you if you want.
Please, really.
All right. Jules, go ahead and go while we get Megan fixed. Go ahead, Jules.
I think everybody here knows that my answer is going to be Marvel for this.
Whoa!
Big surprise, right? Yeah, Pedro's holding up Hawkeye. Hawkeye is probably my currently favorite comic. And then I think Spin and Space Chief have got me reading even more Marvel. So, and then going back and reading older issues, especially Wolverine issues. Whereas DC has, I like DC, but I like more individual titles instead of like as a whole. Whereas I like Marvel as a whole. I don't know if that really makes sense, but like I could pick like maybe 5 DC titles that I'm like, I love this. And then, but as a whole, Marvel is just, killing it. They're shipping out books I can't even keep up. And, any story that they write, I'm going to love. It doesn't matter what it is. So I'm going to have to go with Marvel.
I'm a Marvel girl. I love some of DC. I'm a big fan of villains from both types because I'm a villainess more than anything. But I prefer Marvel just because, honestly, they started it. And a lot of the DC characters are giant ripoffs. And they do it to each other, but... Like, most of the characters in DC are just not very memorable.
And we'll talk about that. That's actually the next category. Characters in the next category. So hold those until the next one.
But, yeah, I'm a fan of the Marvel comics just because of the fact... we lost...
I'll get her back.
They have just hard storylines, and they find ways to fill in the gaps that at least make somewhat of a sense, while DC's like, here's what we're telling you, enjoy it. You're going to yell at us, and we don't care. But they never fix it.
That definitely feels like that for sure, yeah.
Pedro. We're going fast. See how we're rapidly going through this?
I like Marvel better because they are, like you guys said, they have great books, great stories in general, and they have this and this.
There you go, man. Hawkeye and Deadpool's all you need.
I read all Marvel's titles, but I read only a few from DC, just like Green Arrow and and then Green Arrow, just that. If we say the Vertigo's and Icon, I would say that DC would win with Vertigo's because Vertigo is a.
I got you, Megan.
If this dispute is if we count Vertigo, I would say that Vertigo is better than DC. Like they are the same ones.
Yeah.
So
I would agree with that.
in my opinion, the second line of DC is better than the first one of DC. So this because Marvel is too. They have this Vertigo inside. Like Hawkeye is totally an indie book. So this is my opinion. I guess Marvel won.
Megan, can you hear me?
Another Marvel.
Megan, you got me?
3 Marvels so far.
I can hear you. I'm seeing Megan. Can you hear me?
I don't think her sound's still working.
Okay, let me.
She's.
Well, I'll go while I'm working with her real quick. This one's a tough one for me, guys, and like last week. Megan says Marvel all the way.
All right, well, we just got an answer from her that way. Awesome.
Yeah, we're on text as well. I'm working with her. But like I said, hold on. This is what happens when you're doing a live show when we have technical difficulties.
And
that's all right.
Marvel has Carcaju.
Marvel has Carcaju.
Exactly. Carcaju. Carcaju Nation.
Carcaju Nation.
Oh, yeah.
Both have had some pretty good storylines throughout the years, And hold on, sound button. Okay. Both have pretty good storylines throughout the years, if you talk about, if we're going way back, think about like Secret Wars, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and even in the individual titles, Batman has had his run-ins like Hush, Batman R.I.P., the Flash has had his. Everybody's had their own storyline. So for me, it's a toss-up, really. But I think as far as the ones that people really seem to get the most pissed about is Marvel. We saw that with Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
People went nuts because they, in my opinion, they didn't understand Age of Ultron.
I agree with that.
They did not understand Age of Ultron. So for me, it's a toss-up. I'm going to say tie. I'm going to go tie because there's just too many good storylines.
You're going another tie. Wow.
There's too many good storylines. I mean, I cannot pick Secret Wars over Crisis on Infinite Earths. I can't pick, Death of the Family over, something with Marvel. There's just too many that I've read that I'm like, okay, both sides, I have storylines that I just want to see. Now, Marvel, of course, has had more storylines since the beginning, where DC was, a lot more singular stories because they had all the different universes. But I have to go with a tie because there's just too many good storylines from both.
All right. Foxy, I believe it is your turn.
I got a chance to sit here and think about it for a week, and I wrote notes. I'm going Marvel because it seems like when they decide they want a story or a character, they go with it and they don't care. My best examples for that was Spider-Man One More Day and the Amazing Spider-Man 700 into Superior. They took these story arcs that people absolutely hated, and they got, death threats to Marvel and to Dan Slott, and they said, screw it, we're still going with the story.
Dan Slott is a genius. Dan Slott is a genius.
We look at DC, and they finally took the chance, and they killed Batman, and they gave Nightwing the role of Batman, and some hated it, and some loved it, but in the end of the day, they're like, yeah, we can't keep it like this. Let's bring Batman back because of some kind of mystical reason. It's like, characters don't stay dead, I get it, but they just backpedaled their entire, writing for it. So I go with Marvel because they want to do something, they do it, and in the end, you still want to hate it so much you want to know what happens next.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's true.
All right, for me, basically, I never include Batman in the DC thing. Let's be real.
Batman's his own entity.
Batman's his own entity. I don't call Batman a DC. Batman is Batman, and he's his own thing. And I read that, and I read Green Lantern. I might stop now that Jeff Johns is leaving the series, but his stuff with Green Lantern was great. I just started on Green Arrow, and that's pretty cool. But the Marvel stuff, I've always liked a little more. It seems to delve a little bit more in real life, in a sense, especially post-Civil War. Like, it really just, you can imagine it a little bit more than you could, like, DC. DC, it still feels very superhero-ish and very intangible, whereas Marvel, you can still enjoy it as a comic book and everything like that, but, like, I don't know, you can really get into the stories and really kind of dig deep as if you were experiencing it. And then on top of that, I mean, they kick out their trades a lot faster than DC does, so that helps too. But I'm gonna go with Marvel. You know, Civil War was huge. Civil War was amazing. I tried to read Final Crisis and Morrison. I had to keep going back on pages like, what the hell is Morrison writing? I am so lost. And they're like, but I'm gonna definitely go with Marvel on this one as well. Marvel for sure. It's just in terms of the risks that they take with their writing. It's a lot more often, and even bringing back older characters and making them prime players again, like Iron Fist, which was always one of my favorites. Iron Fist is like a major player now. Was Shang-Chi, if I'm correct, the Master of Kung Fu, and everything like that. You know, they're bringing back these lower characters, and they're bringing them back and they're making them prime players. So I'm gonna go with Marvel.
Very nice.
But not only that, the Celestials are coming back. You got the Celestials. When's the last time the Celestials were in anything? The Apocalypse Twins are killing Celestials.
Guardians of the Galaxy is taking off and everything now for sure and everything. So, and our last nerd herder Spike is going to
Jen's cutting my brownie.
Okay.
As far as DC go, all I read is anything in the Batman universe. I tried to do Superman and other characters, but it just didn't fit right, you know? But I agree with everyone else, definitely Marvel. Like, for a lot of characters, like, Marvel is like the one you read with it, when you don't, it's like, wow, it's a good fucking story, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so definitely Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, another Marvel. And Jen! Who's busy cutting a brownie.
I'm here.
This is looking terrible. We're here having slushies and smoking and eating brownies.
Sorry.
Everybody's like, what the hell are nerd herders doing on their end of things?
They will find out. They will find out what you're doing on this end. Trust me.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody anyway. It's all right.
Marvel is being adorable.
Marvel because the first comic book I want to read is one by Gambit. So since he's Marvel, that's all I got.
That's fine with us.
Genevieve is going to just go to the cuteness of Gambit, apparently. But
there you go.
I think that's fair.
That works. And it works. And Megan's making faces, which I love. And Megan's in 2 spots.
Megan's in 2 spots.
Awesome.
Wow, goddamn, Marvel won the comics round hands down.
Yeah, Marvel won that hands down. That was a clean sweep for Marvel.
Hold on, let me check something real quick.
Yeah, spins tie.
I think Megan can talk. She just can't hear us very well. So let me just check something real quick.
Yeah, so there was the cute little.
And I don't know. I love it though.
You guys want a quick hambo while I'm avoiding?
Oh, she's making a sign.
Are we gonna hand dive?
She's making a sign.
You guys don't know Carcajou.
Carcajou, what number is that?
I love that. Oh yeah, for your nerd herders who don't know about Carcajou, we got to put this out there real quick because we actually went through that pretty quickly. We went through that whole part pretty quickly. For all of you who don't know about the Carcajou Nation, Pedro, Please tell us about the carcajonation real quick. Go.
Go ahead, Pedro.
Wolverine is he's an animal, and the animal that Wolverine is in Brazil is called carcaju.
So we call Wolverine
But the
carcaju.
title of Wolverine is still Wolverine.
But it's carcaju. Megan got disconnected again. We'll get her back. Jeff, you are now a member of the Carcaju Nation, by the way, Jeff.
Oh, that's.
Am I the only one that gets
You have no choice.
We should be. Am I the only one that gets to say we should be doing the Brady Bunch thing and just looking up like this and around like we should, like, you know, the old Brady Bunch thing?
Here's a story.
That's what I do all the time.
A lovely lady who got eaten by a zombie in Patient 23.
Oh, yeah.
We need Ann B. Davis like right here.
Yeah, where's Ann B. Davis?
Awesome.
I haven't seen that show
Awesome.
in years.
So Marvel with the big comeback for comic books.
Yes, looking through the
board,
it seems as though Marvel is also winning when it comes to the comic books as well.
So the Nerd Herders have also agreed that it is Marvel to win the books.
Yep.
All right. Then now we have the biggest category, I guess, of all, where we can get this. This is the last category, basically the most in-depth one that everybody's going to have tons of things to say, which is why we saved it for the last.
Yeah. Characters.
You
know, I'm not going to say originality because, like Uni said, they do take from each other. But, you know, in terms of the characters, I guess you could say relatability, which one catches your attention more, you know, flashiness and all that hoo-ha. Who you like to cosplay more as, like, things like
Exactly. All right, so who's going to start out this character round?
You guys.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So go.
All right. In terms of characters, I'm also going with Marvel. Solely because when you read their comics, it seems like their characters have a lot more issues that real people go through. Like the mutants had to deal with their form of anti-mutism, which is their form of racism. Exactly. You know, you see, you know, puny little Peter Parker being bullied as a kid. You're like, yeah, I can relate to you. And you know, everybody has issues. Everybody has their own problems, and I felt that was a little bit more relatable. You see, I can't really. I love Harley Quinn. I can't exactly relate to the fact that she was a psychiatrist with a degree that just kind of went batshit crazy. You know, like, it just seems as Marvel's internal struggles with their characters seem more relatable to me on a personal level. And even down to cosplay, I would prefer to cosplay as Marvel characters, and I have. And their characters do look larger than life. You look at a character like Dazzler from the 70s and you're like, holy shit, who's that? I think I have to read this, you know? Or even down to Rogue back in the 80s with the big poofy hair, and she was like technically the fashionista for that time through comics. In terms of how they look, Marvel characters are also more appealing.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta definitely agree with that one. Yeah, I mean, you know, that was definitely a thing that attracted me to Marvel Comics as a kid too, was just the way that the characters looked. Before you even pick up the book, like, the characters just looked more interesting. Like DC, you always know, you knew you knew Batman, you knew Superman, you knew Aquaman, you knew Wonder Woman and everything like that.
Aquaman? Nobody knows Aquaman.
Oh. Well, I think the Star Kiss fish. But anyway, hey! Aquaman's kind of like got a thing here. But you know, in terms of like looks or whatever, like when you look at the Marvel gallery of heroes, like they just look so much more interesting. You know, you got Daredevil. You know, granted it's kind of like a Batman thing in a red suit, but it's like, again, I only mostly read. I just jumped into Green Arrow and Green Lantern. I've always loved, and then of course Batman. But beyond that, like, I have no interest in Superman because I can't relate to that. I can't relate to a guy who's got every freaking power under the sun, literally and figuratively. But like, you know, I can't relate to that. But like, you know, the characters in Marvel are so flawed and everything like that. Like, you can kind of relate to that. There's always something. There's Deadpool. You know, Deadpool obviously holds a very special place in my heart because of the series I did. But also just, I can kind of relate to the kookiness and kind of like his off-the-wallness because I do that. You know, Wolverine's got issues and everything like that. You know, like, the characters are just more relatable. They're also more interesting looking from the get-go. I read a lot more Marvel. Tony Stark is you know, everybody's like, I want to be Tony Stark, but look at all the problems Tony Stark has. He's got a plethora of flaws.
Pepper.
He's completely flawed across the board.
Pepper.
So despite, you know, even Captain America at one time, that was like doing the whole big, one of the most memorable thing is like, you know, the big anti-drug things. And he's like, kids, don't do drugs. And the kid was like, well, didn't you take a drug to get your powers? And it was like, oh, it's like,
Oh, snap.
oh, snap, pose. But, like, you know, I read a lot more of the characters out of Marvel, you know, even the ones that are, like, a little more out there, like Thor. Because even Thor, even though he's a god, again, he's got issues and he's got problems that you can relate to and everything like that. So I'm definitely going on Marvel for the characters. They have a darker edge and just a deeper story that you want to get into other than the actual main story arc. There's just things about them that you want to read more about because they're so interesting, as well as the story going on. The characters themselves are interesting, and they're always building on it. So I'm going Marvel for characters.
I do want everybody to know, hold on. Due to technical problems, Meghan had to bow out due to technical problems. She said she loves us all, and she wanted to say goodbye. But Fox, you did get to see Meghan. You did get to see Meghan.
I get to see all you guys. This is enough like surprise. Finally seeing everybody.
This is awesome. This is epic. This is a first for the Nerd Herders show. This is awesome.
Alright, Spike.
Characters.
See, this is a tough one for you. This is a tough one for you.
It is, because, you know, in DC, of course, my favorite character is Meghan. And a lot of people in the Batman universe. But when it comes to Marvel, it's like, there is so freaking many.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, Wolverine, Spider-Man. It's a really tough choice, and I hate to say it, but I gotta say Marvel.
Okay, you're gonna go with Marvel on this one.
Like, I do like Nightwing, but I gotta say Marvel. Yeah.
Alright, so
That falls into what Uni was saying earlier, how when it comes to DC, there are individual characters that we like separately and we will read, but DC as a whole, totally other story.
Right. Especially when they do big stories like Civil War shit, like all these characters combined in one, they do it so
oh yeah, it's epic. I mean, yeah. Shoot, I'm looking forward to Lego Marvel just because of the amount of characters they're gonna have in that. It's epic.
Howard the Duck's in it.
Lego Marvel. Everybody's waiting for Lego Marvel. All the characters that in it.
Howard the Duck is in Lego Marvel.
The Duck.
And Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl is in it. Yeah, buddy.
Everything's better in Lego.
Everything's better in Lego.
Daredevil is in it.
Genesis.
Oh, Jules.
Character.
I'm just gonna go with Marvel because I just find them more interesting.
And that's the most important thing.
That's the most important thing. Exactly. It makes you pick up the book. Absolutely. All right. From the panel crew, who's going to start it off?
Let's see, Jeff. I want to hear your take on this because you like it when the heroes and villains get knocked the boot, so to speak. I want to hear your ideas on this one.
I do like that. You know, this is actually this is a really tough one for me. You know, so I grew up, and Spider-Man was my favorite character. He still is today, and you know, like you guys mentioned, like who can't relate to Peter Parker, right? I mean, very real character. You know, I think any of us growing up as geeks can relate to him and all that stuff. And like you mentioned, the X-Men. I think those are great examples too. That Marvel is very real world based, and those are the kind of characters I try to write in my own stories. You know, so. You know, but then I go to the DC side, and you know, some of those characters are so iconic. Like, for example, let's take the Avengers movie, which I loved, but I actually was not that excited to see the Avengers movie. I'm ridiculously excited to see a Justice League movie, you know? So then you got that, and it's like, wow, I'm really more excited to see a Justice League movie, though, than and then you take all the TV shows and the animated stuff that DC has done, and what I've loved they've done with those characters, and even though, like, let's say you take Superman, right, who it is hard to relate to because he's got all these powers, but he's a guy who grew up on a farm in Kansas, raised by parents, he's trying to do the right thing, and he's an alien trying to be human and fit in, right? And Martian Manhunter, same thing. And I think that's one reason why I love Data from Star Trek Next Generation. He was, you know, an android, but he wanted to be human. And there's something real about that, characters who are trying to be human who are not. And I think that is more depth to DC maybe than we give them credit for. So I don't know. I think both have amazing characters on both sides. And, you know, wow, I'm going to do a spin on this one. I'm actually going to call this a tie. I think I can't make a decision right now.
Wow. Okay.
All right, Uni. Blast this, Uni. Go, Uni, go. Go.
For me, it's probably Marvel. I do like a lot of the DC characters. I grew up with them, especially like Superman, same reason. And I'm a country girl at heart, because that's where my family all came from. So that was one of those, maybe someday I'll be cool and actually be an alien type things. But to this day, though, I have more interest in the Marvel characters. And part of it, I cosplay as them. And I prefer dressing up as Marvel characters. They have more to them. They're more challenging than, say, Catwoman. And, well, not Poison Ivy, but that's another story. But, like, I have such deep love for a lot of the Marvel villains. I know you're supposed to hate them, but with the Marvel villains, they're still relatable. You still feel bad for them in some way, shape, or form. While with DC, they're just bad guys. If they're labeled as a bad guy, they're truly a bad guy. And the only one who's not really in that mix, I would say, would probably be Catwoman. But that's just because she's neutral. So that's, for me, it's Marvel again.
All right. Pedro. Go Deadpool. Go EU Deadpool.
I gotta say, Kaiju is the best character I ever read, because Kaiju, it's like you guys are saying, the Marvel characters are more like, I can be a Marvel character, and DC Comics is all about, we are better than everybody else. We don't make mistakes. I'm Batman. I'm better than any human. I'm more faster. I'm more intelligent. I'm more brainy. So, I don't know. Like you guys said, Marvel characters, they have flaws. They're trying to be better. So the DC characters is already better. They are better than anyone. Superman. Superman is like an ideal, because with him, all other characters. So I don't put them. Sorry, I don't put him in the same line as the other characters. But he's kind of. I'm the best. He's not like that, but he has this. I'm the most powerful man in the universe, in the earth. Sorry, and Marvel is not like that. The guy. I'm the best guy in the Bronx, like Daredevil. Daredevil is I'm the New York guy. I'm the Bronx guy. They are more like. I'm doing my part. So in Marvel world are more like they are combined. Everybody do their parts. So we save everybody because everybody's do their parts. So Justice League, sorry. DC is more like, we are the Justice League. We are the best. So we are gonna save the world. And there is no other team like Justice. DC has only Justice League, and everything is going on with Justice League. Is that why? Because sorry, my English is terrible. Jeff said,
we're listening. We're going. This is good.
He is more interested in seeing Justice League movie, but because DC world is all about the Justice League. In comics, they are not kind of Batman is out of the Justice League because he is in Gotham saving the day. Like he's there because he's there. He's the Justice League brain. So I think that they are more like. Justice League is a universe, and all other comics are different universes. So Marvel, no. Marvel is more like Tony Stark is in space, so he isn't in the Avengers. It's more like they do this kind of stuff. So for me, the character is more interesting because he's Kakashu is all over the place, but we can see why some characters go outside, so they are not in the team. So other characters are doing other parts. So we have a lot of characters. We have different powers, different flaws. And DC is more like we are the best, and we have the best to say.
So you're Marvel.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So Marvel.
Nice.
Jules. Go.
Go. I don't know. For me, this one's a little bit harder. I love Superman. I think I'm still going to have to go with Marvel on this one, just because I love Spider-Man. I love Peter Parker. I miss him so much. I definitely relate to him, and also reading any of the Wolverine comics, new, old, anything that you read, like, you can definitely feel for this guy. Like, you just want to, you don't know what to do with him. Like, do you, like, hug him? Do you smack him? Like, you just really, like, he's one of my favorite characters. And then, yes, and there's, of course, one of my favorite comics is Hawkeye, and I definitely feel like I can relate, to Clint and Kate, and their relationship, what's going on there. It's more real. It's more like, this is what would really happen, not just like, you know, as Pedro says, we're better, we're saving the world. I mean, I do love, I love Superman. I love Batman. This is definitely a tough one for me. I definitely, Phantom Stranger has become one of my favorites right now. I'm still gonna have to give it to Marvel, just because anytime Thor, I just did a review on Thor, and I mean, Thor is just killing it right now. And I love Thor so much. I just, like, even if, like, you can read my review on Nerd Following anyways.
I did. That's the funny thing. We're all a little bit of a following the nerd marriage, because our episodes of Nerd Herders go on following the nerd, and panel to panel it goes on following the nerd. I write reviews, he writes reviews, she writes reviews. It's like a happy little marriage right now.
Yeah, I'm just here.
So,
with
like, I know definitely so far I've probably done more Marvel reviews, just because anytime like Thor comes out, I'm like, okay, now Hawkeye. I need to do Hawkeye. I need to do Wolverine. Like, I just need to do all of them because
they're so bad right now.
This is just because it's completely taking it out of context.
No, it's the right context. It is the exact right context.
That's what Jules means.
You should have seen her review. Jules, you're going to have to repost it, your review of Man of Steel, where you just went off about your love of Henry Cavill and how much you loved Man of Steel.
That's why it's hard for me, because I really love Superman, and any form of the movie, any form of the comic, just pretty much any story in Superman I love. So that's why it's a little bit harder for me to pick. But yeah, definitely love him. He's one of my favorite people. But I'm still gonna have to give it to Marvel.
All right.
Yeah.
Chief, let's rock it, brother.
What can I say? I'm kind of split, this is the way I look at it, right? Because I'm kind of an old guy. When I was growing up, the first things that you read, the first comics, a lot of them were like DC, because like it's Superman versus some bad guys, or Batman versus some bad guys. It's not real heavy stuff. And then as you get older, you kind of graduate to Marvel. When you get to be an older kid, you start reading the more hardcore stories. Another thing, Marvel's set in the real world. They're in New York. They're on the West Coast. They're in LA. They're different places. They're real locations. While DC's more of a fictional, alternate kind of a universe.
You do have
I
Nightwing.
don't know, man. Yeah, that's true. I don't know how many other times that's happened, but they set Nightwing in Chicago, which is close to me. I go looking for him every weekend. But I love Batman, but I mean, it's a toss-up. I mean, there's aspects. I'm gonna have to go with a tie on this. I'm gonna have to, because I probably, my pull list is probably 50-50 on either side. I like the Marvel probably more, just because it's dark, it's a little darker, it's a little more adult, I think. But then again, the New 52 is starting to do that with their stories too, like with the death of Damian Wayne. Just recently, Batman started getting really dark again, and I just eat that stuff. The darker and more hardcore, the better. I say I love that stuff. So I'm gonna go with a tie on this, with a little bit of a leaning towards Marvel.
I have to interrupt and make everybody laugh. The cat disagrees with me. I think she wants DC. Could be because she's named after Catwoman, but she's been trying to claw my face for the last 10 minutes. So.
The cat.
We think our cat got jealous and saw yours, and she decided to stroll in and she saw your cat.
It's a kitty, not a kitty, it's a kitty,
I can't see what's going on, so that's really weird.
Do I get all right, is it my turn?
Awesome.
I get to go?
I believe it's your turn.
Because I'm going to be flipping some scripts. I'll just flip some scripts.
Oh, here we go.
As far as characters go, yeah, there are awesome characters on both sides. Now, I'm going to take Superman away out of the equation. Superman, I'm kicking you to the curb right now. Because I don't want to talk about you. I'm wearing the shirt, but I don't want to talk about you, Superman. I want to talk about characters from DC like Phantom Stranger. Jules mentioned Phantom Stranger. Oh my God, what a fantastic character this is. Whether it was the old Phantom Stranger or the new one where he's Judas Iscariot, where they had made the Phantom Stranger Judas Iscariot, and he is doomed to walk the earth because of the sin that he created. And he wears a necklace of the 30 pieces of silver. That is spectacular. Bringing Barry Allen. Respect Barry Allen. Fantastic.
Respect Barry Allen.
Hal Jordan coming back. That was something I think everybody wanted, was Hal Jordan to come back. And Chief, what happens when Hal Jordan comes back? Who does he bring with him?
Necron rise.
Necron. But DC's got so many characters, and one of the things I was thinking about this today of the two companies, and there was something that I really started thinking about is those characters, those obscure characters, and what the two companies do with their obscure characters. And I think on the Marvel side, when you see a character like recently in Red She-Hulk, Man-Thing came back. And I do love some Man-Thing. Especially in giant size.
Thanks, baby.
I especially loved it in giant size Man-Thing. But I know Chief and I were going nuts because we're like, oh my God, he's back. They're bringing him back into the comics again. Because Man-Thing was actually a big character in the 70s. I mean, you had Adventure into Fear with Man-Thing, then you did get giant-sized Man-Thing. Big character. Other characters, when you come back, like Lego Marvel, they're bringing Howard the Duck back. They're bringing Squirrel Girl. You think about, like, Excalibur. They're going to be bringing back Captain Britain. They're bringing back Motormouth. They're bringing back... They've already brought back Jeff's head in Iron Man. It seems to me when Marvel has a character you haven't seen for a while, and he or she comes back, the fans go nuts. The fans love it. Like
the Skrull Cows. The Skrull Cows came back.
Recently I reviewed Morbius, the Living Vampire #8. And in this issue, Chief, if you haven't read it yet, plug your ears, please, if you haven't read it yet. In Morbius
Which one?
#8, Morbius.
Oh, I haven't read it. Hold on.
All right, take your head. They actually have Monstropolis. They have the city. They talk about the city of monsters in this issue. And I'm sitting there going, we could bring back Werewolf by Night. We could bring back Tomb of Dracula. We could get Blade, Night Stalkers. They could all come back. Whereas on DC side, it's like, oh, look, there's Blue Devil. Look, there's another character. Okay, who the hell are they and what are they doing? All right, Chief, put them back on. You're good, Chief. You put them back on. it seems like, everybody loves Captain America, everybody loves Carcajou, everybody loves Batman. But for me, it was based off of those characters we love that we don't get to see. That's where I base it off of. However, this is characters all around. Marvel has the better superheroes, but DC has the better villains. And let me explain why. When you talk to someone, you say, name me some Marvel, name me Marvel villains. Name me Marvel villains. They could be like, Magneto, they could throw Thanos in there, who's that other guy? When you talk DC, name me DC villains. Oh, you got Joker, you got Zod, Brainiac, that was great. So I think it is a toss-up when you talk characters because Marvel's got the better superheroes, but DC definitely has the better villains. I mean, look how crazy we go when we say, who's playing Joker? When we say, who's going to play the Joker? People go nuts. Because like, no, this guy's got to play the Joker. This is the Joker. People, when Dark Knight Rises was coming out, people were petitioning for Riddler. They wanted Johnny Depp as Riddler, David Tennant as the Riddler. So for me, it's a tie because of that. Because Marvel's got the better heroes, but DC definitely has the villains that we all want and we love and we know. So it's a tie for me.
Wow.
All right.
So,
blam, I murdered.
This actually causes a problem, though. Now, DC dominated animated DVDs, animated TV, and live-action TV, which is 3 categories. Marvel dominated movies, video games. Oh, wait, actually, I miscounted. It seems like Marvel actually won the debate then, because
Marvel made the comeback.
Yeah, they have movies, video games, comics, and characters.
Oh, okay, so Marvel actually made the comeback. So despite last week, DC was heavily in the lead. Marvel has made the comeback, and Marvel has won the battle of the two.
I thought it was going to come down to a tie. I was like, oh no, we got to keep debating. There's a tie, but no.
I suspected
Marvel has won the battle, but it was a lot closer than what anybody expected. It was definitely a lot closer than anybody expected.
Yeah.
So now, being we've ended the debate a little bit early, we actually had one last thing to get everybody to discuss upon before we let everybody go.
Now we're here, so now we can do this.
And now we can do all this together. So we have basically to talk about the one thing that's on everybody's mind. The Ben Affleck situation.
And we talked about this at the top of our show.
Someone was like, I knew we were going here eventually.
Okay, what was the final call on our end?
We have...
Foxy, what do you guys got on your end?
We had 3, 4, 2 against, and 1 neutral. 3, 2, and 1. Because
Meghan hated it.
Yeah, Meghan hated it.
Oh, yeah, right. So 3, 3. 3 and 3. Yeah.
And me, Jules, and Jeff were all for it, and
Pedro was not as much for it, right?
I'm kind of.
They were on the fence.
And I just don't
problem
care.
Is not only with Ben Affleck. The David Bowie situation is a problem too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't give a flying rat's patoot. I really don't care. As long as he gets his motherfucking movie check. That's all I care about is Ben Affleck gets his motherfucking movie check.
Now, what about this? We brought up an interesting theory, though. One theory was because they tried to approach him a while back to be the director for Justice League, and he said no, he wouldn't do it. Foxy brought up something, and I kind of agree with her. Do you think this is a ploy to get him in to play a character that will eventually bring him forward to direct Justice League?
Actually, that's what Pedro said.
That's what Pedro just said.
That's exactly what Pedro said.
That's what Pedro said.
But is everybody kind of on the same page with that one, or do you think, yeah, Ben Affleck,
I think so.
It's hard to say. I think like I said, he's an older, seasoned actor. I think it could be the greatest decision ever, or it could be the worst failure in history. I'm just going to wait. I was more of a wait and see, but I was all for the choice, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
I'm waiting. I'll wait and see, because I'm with Space Chief. It could either be really awesome, because he's done great acting. I mean, look at Dogma. Or it will be a train wreck. But we've been surprised before. Everybody hated Heath Ledger being cast as the Joker. That is my number one thing I always bring up when people start screaming about someone being cast in a role. Everyone hated Heath Ledger being cast as Joker. I was even one of those people. And he blew everyone away. So, quite literally. So, needless to say, it could be an amazing casting call. And if he does well with this, I could see it easily being a step up into directing and even starring in the Justice League film. It's just more of, will he sit down and read the comics? Because you have to connect to the fans by reading the comics. If you just go in and go, we're doing this, it's a train wreck. Always will be.
Well, Ben Affleck is a comics fan, though. He always has been. I mean, he was a big Daredevil fan, which is why he did that, you know. So, I mean, as I mentioned to these guys earlier, I'm 100% behind this. I think I've always been a big fan of Ben Affleck. I think he's going to kick ass in this role. And I think that's a great point you guys and Pedro brought up about if this would help him get into the directing role for Justice League that he turned down. I think he would be an awesome director for Justice League because he is one of the best directors working right now, as far as I'm concerned. And his movies, I think he would actually bring a real world feel to the Justice League and not make it like all goofy and crazy. And I actually think he would be a great choice for the Justice League. Unlike Zack Snyder, who I think is all visual and doesn't know how to tell a story, I think Ben Affleck absolutely knows how to tell a story.
And if Ben Affleck does not direct it, Jeff is petitioning. Jeff, you'll direct it, right? You'll direct the Justice League film, right?
Absolutely.
Jeff, I will vote for you to direct it.
All right, Jules.
I'll do it.
We all know from Twitter that Jules absolutely loves the casting.
Really?
Yes, everybody made fun of me.
I didn't.
I didn't.
No, I just, because I was camping in a tent, and then I found the news, and I started, tweeting and blowing up Twitter, because I was really happy, because I
was making fun of you because you were camping.
It's horrible.
But I still tweeted about Daredevil and about, because Daredevil was trending then, and I was like, ooh, I'm so excited that Daredevil's trending, because, he played Daredevil. But yeah, I love Daredevil, and my first pick didn't get picked for Batman, and I knew he wouldn't, so I just think this is probably the second best choice for me, because I think he's gonna kill it. I really do. I mean, and now I really hope he does, because, there was so much hate on him. It's like, people just really don't want him to be Batman. I think they just can't. Yeah, they can't visualize him as being Batman. Which I can kind of understand that, but I feel like just give him a chance. If he's horrible at it, then that's that, But I just want to give him a chance and let him just get in there, and I just hope he kills it so that everybody will be like, oh, okay, and then everybody's gonna be changing their opinions, and I'm gonna be like, no, you said you didn't. No, I won't.
I was there first.
I do that.
Everything now.
I totally rubbed it in people's faces when I guess what would happen to Superior Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like 4 months before it happened. I was totally in everybody's face about that.
Excited. I'm really excited.
Go ahead, Pedro, real quick.
The Ben Affleck incident is because it's not the Ben Affleck that is a problem for me. It's the whole film. It's the Man of Steel 2. It's not the Batman movie. So as a whole thing, I have my issues because the Man of Steel was strange for me because there's no Superman there. I didn't see the Superman there. I only see the Man of Steel. I didn't see the Superman, the guy who puts himself in arms to save everybody. Just the kind of the Zod machine he destroyed, but he destroyed the whole city trying to defeat Zod. So I have this problem because Superman is overpowered in the movie, and we have a Batman who is only a guy. So they have to manage this thing. Batman has to be a little bit more like a fairy tale for it works. Because if it's a man in a bad suit, it's gonna suck and gonna suck bad.
And
so you're saying they got to kind of equalize their power because Superman would just be untouchable. In other words,
well, but that's what Frank Miller did, right? In Dark Knight Returns, right?
Oh, it all comes down to kryptonite every time. It's going to be kryptonite something.
now, for me, as I hold up this beautiful Batman number 612, I'm gonna wait and pass judgment after I see Affleck as Batman. I'm gonna wait and pass judgment then, but I am super excited that Kevin Smith can finally say he has seen Batman naked. For me, that is the thing. So that's us on Ben Affleck.
For me, my opinion was basically, which I've mentioned in a lot of our previous episodes, when you get cast into the role of Batman, you're not getting cast in the role of one, you're actually getting cast into the role of two.
Yep.
And you got to be able to play them differently. Bruce Wayne does not act the same way Batman does. So you got to be able to play both. I can see Affleck doing a Batman. I don't know if I could see him being a Bruce Wayne. It's like he's more of a blue-collar type actor to me. I don't see him being a Bruce Wayne.
I thought it'd be easier for Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I'd see him, I could see him in the cape and the cowl. I just don't know if he's, hey, follow me and Alfred to the car. It's like, I just can't see it.
How about them apples?
I just don't really see it. But that's always been the flaw I found with the Batman things. Is like, they'll either do a good Bruce Wayne or they'll do a good Batman, or they'll just be Val Kilmer and completely blow it. But I guess, again, we have to wait and see. How about you?
Spin. That was great though. I want to see Batman say, "How about them apples?" in the movie. That's what I want to see.
How about them apples?
We need to start an online petition for it. Let's do it.
Joss Whedon approves of Ben Affleck as Batman. I think I have to go with Joss at this point.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, Joss has made the statement.
Joss has made the statement. I'm going to stand behind Joss now.
All right.
Like I said, I'm not anti-Affleck.
Joss is also in charge of the Marvel film, so he might be like, this is a great ploy to make DC really
Make this suck, so Avengers 2 rules.
Joss is sitting back going, excellent.
My Ultron.
Exactly. I'm not anti-Affleck. I'm just more shocked that out of the entire list of actors they had in mind for this, they took something completely out of left field. So let's hope that this shock stays and we get another shock with. So it's like I'm not anti-Affleck. I'm more just still in the state of shock of it all. I still think the body's too cold to even be recasted, but that's another story.
Yeah.
I was hoping for Josh Brolin. I was hoping for Brolin, but all right.
I know.
But hey, we'll get a new Batman suit, probably some new Bat toys, so it's going to be interesting for sure. Yes, you didn't think of that, did you?
Ooh.
You didn't think new Batman?
I'm really hoping they fix that suit.
Bat shark repellent coming your way.
No nipples.
Now, my nerd herder.
We can have a movie about only Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. My nerd herder.
Well, Batman Begins was kind of like that.
Yeah. I do want, real quick, if we can, I would like for Jeff to let the nerd herders know about his show, Super Knocked Up. We got a few minutes. Can we let Jeff talk? Let your nerd herders know about the Super Knocked Up web series?
Everybody plug. Everybody plug.
Go, Jeff. Go.
Jeff, someone had gotten in contact with me regarding having you guys on Nerd Herders, and we have not forgotten. It's just we've been crazy because we have kids and they're home for the summer. So we are getting back to you regarding having you on the show.
They're driving her crazy.
They're driving me crazy.
Thank you very much. And probably is Libby, our awesome publicist, who contacted you. So thanks. That's great to hear. Hey, wait, did you? Is your show named after the Chuck? By the way, the Nerf Herders. The Nerd Herd. That's a Nerd Herd. Never mind. It's very close. Sorry. Nerd Herd. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Super Knocked Up. Thank you, Spin. Action comedy web series. Female supervillain gets knocked up by a superhero and has to raise the baby with her nemesis. Shenanigans ensue after that. And you can check it out at superknockedup.com. We're in the middle of our second season right now. You can watch all our episodes there on our website. And right now, we have a comic book as well, and that's actually free online if you want to get the digital version. You can head over to the website and download it for free.
Awesome.
So there you go.
Anybody else got anything to shamelessly plug? Go.
Absolutely.
Plug.
Well, everybody already knows us, Panel to Panel, following the nerd, Facebook.com. You know, we're everywhere. Also, if any of you listeners are in the Rockford, Illinois area in December 27th through the 29th, there's a convention called Anime Apocalypse. The Panel to Panel team is going to be there. We are shooting a live show. We are hosting a panel on comics. Come out if you're in the Rockford area, Chicago area. Come out, chill with us December 27th through the 29th. You never know. I bring surprises everywhere I go. You don't know who may show up in Rockford, Illinois. Yeah. You have no clue who may be coming to Rockford, Illinois.
If you're in the area, you can just come to my house if you want to. I live here. Just come to the Chief's house. Hang out with the Chief. I got a spot right on my couch right here. You can sit right here.
I'm going to take you up on that.
Also, you're listening to Nerd Herders tonight.
Jeff's coming. Jeff's already here.
Yeah, Jeff's already there. Yeah. Next Friday, this episode of Panel to Panel that we are currently recording right now will be up next Friday. So you've heard Foxy and all of us on the radio tonight. You can actually see it on video next Friday on Following the Nerd. And you'll get to also hear us sing, because we are going to be singing in a little bit, guys. Yes, we are.
Awesome. Well, that being said,
this should have been a surprise.
This was absolutely epic. This is incredible. This is the first for the Nerd Herders and everything. So, guys, panel, spin dash, everybody. Meghan, who couldn't stay on with us, thank you so much for being involved in this. This was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Excelsior.
Woo! You all have a pleasant evening.
Harkaju.
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 Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show. We hope you had fun with us. Jeff, thank you so much for coming back, being on the show for the third time. I'm hoping we can have you back again soon. Don't forget, Super Knocked
Up,
have
a blast.
Super Geeked Up. Check them out. You know, Chief, this has really been awesome. You know what it's done to me, Chief? It's given me a feeling, Chief.
A special kind of feeling?
Oh, a very special kind of feeling. You know, it's almost like it's such a good feeling. Know you're alive. It's such a
know you're alive.
Feeling.
Such a happy feeling.
When you wake up,
growing inside. You wake up ready to say, I think I'll make a snappy new day.
It's such a good feeling. A very good feeling. The feeling you know that I'll be back when the day is new. And I'll have more ideas for you. And you'll have things you'll want to talk about. I will too. The things inside you, your thoughts and your feelings, are all yours. And you're the one to decide if you want to share them with anybody. Your thoughts and your feelings are your own. I like sharing some of mine with you. I'll be back next time. You always make it a special day by just your being yourself. Bye-bye.